What's up, guys? It's Ethan Ryder with Soccer for Us Kids, U.S Kids. I'm here to recap the England-Croatia game from the 2018 semifinals of the World Cup. I thought this game was very interesting to watch, and I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of tactical things going on, but throughout the game, I really saw an experienced Croatia side defeat a really motivated, youthful England squad. And I think they did this by different experienced players stepping up when they needed to. What started off the game was England coming out strong and attacking. Dele Alli got fouled in the attacking third of the England's possession half, and they ended up having a free kick that Kieran Trippier converted on, and it was 1-0 to England 4 minutes into the game. What a great start for the England squad, and they really started to believe throughout the game. And so from this point, Croatia was really behind the game and chasing. So through the game, it really was interesting to see the different sides change their mindset throughout the game and their motivation for if they can win or not, and the faith that they had. Harry Kane did miss a golden chance to put his golden boot race from 6 to 7. However, he did miss. It got saved by Subasic, and it wasn't quite to be Harry Kane's day. And he didn't quite have the best game that he could, and that was part of the reason that England ended up losing this game. I think Croatia grew into the game at the beginning of the second half. The whole first half, England had a very good first half and was really shutting down Croatia's chances, and Croatia really was not getting any clear-cut chances. England wasn't really as well, but they were ahead in the game, so it didn't matter as much. However, in the second half, Croatia started to go into the game and started to begin to get a lot of chances. However, none of them were really clear-cut chances until Perisic stepped up and from a Vrsaljko cross. It was kind of a hope and heave cross from the right back for Croatia, but it ended up finding Perisic, who just through heart and will went past two England defenders and flicked it on into the goal with the back of his heel. It was a really gorgeous goal for Croatia to score because it was perfect timing, because it really gave them hope. And after this goal, Croatia had a lot of hope, and they had faith, and they started really putting it onto the England defense. They had one chance where England just had a little bit of miscommunication with the clearance, and Perisic picked up the ball and had a strike that hit the right bottom post of England's goal. And it was a very close opportunity that just a couple inches to the other side may have ended up being 2-1 Croatia. However, it didn't, and England did hold on. However, such a youthful England squad did seem a little desperate after the equalizer, and they seemed to kind of become frantic. And it was something that you would see from the youthful side, and the experienced Croatia side kept bringing it on and kept attacking them. England did get a couple of chances, but it wasn't until Southgate brought on Marcus Rashford in place of Raheem Sterling, who was a questionable start for this game, and it is questionable as to whether he should have started Sterling over Rashford, because Sterling did not have one of his best games. He did use his pace in some areas, but he didn't really have any hold-up play or any help to the England's attack. Once Marcus Rashford came on, he started to add something new, a new dimension to the attack, bringing in crosses and beating players one-on-one that Sterling just didn't do throughout the game. I think this game was really a weird thing because there were a lot of lack of subs. Besides Rashford, there weren't many subs that happened during the course of play. Croatia actually had no subs, and it really maybe is questioning the depth that these two teams have, the fact that they did not go to their bench at the end of such a crucial game. And then the teams ended up going into overtime, and this was interesting because both teams, like I said in my preview, were prepared for this. And Croatia had been to 2 games already where they had gone all the way to penalty kicks. And this is something that maybe showed that they should have been tired. However, they had such adrenaline and they had hope that they could win this game that they actually seemed very energetic throughout the game. And it seems to think like that Croatia may not have a good depth because they didn't make any subs. Through this, because both of them had extra time and penalties in other games, it seemed like they both were prepared and it was going to be a great extra time period. The first extra time period had England come out strong, and Stones had a header cleared off the line from once again a set piece for England. England is very strong in set pieces, and throughout the tournament they have been very strong, and they are the top set piece scoring team throughout the World Cup. Someone especially like Harry Maguire has been very dominant in set pieces so far this tournament, and the people putting it in like Kieran Trippier and Ashley Young have provided great service for the players inside the box, and they are a very tall team, and I think that helped them throughout the tournament throughout these set pieces. So Pickford at the end of that half, the first half of the extra time, almost showed the game the whole 90-minute regular time game, as the first stoppage time half had England being very strong at first, but then Croatia growing into the game. And at the end of the first period of extra time, Pickford made a spectacular save on a Mandzukic who was clear on goal, and he just kicked it out with his foot. It was a very great save from Jordan Pickford, being very brave and making sure that he stayed big the whole time that he made his save. In the second half, England started to get more confidence with a little more possession, but then they had a little bit of a mix-up at the back, and their clearance was not great, and it fell to Perisic, who got the ball and headed it back into the box for Mandzukic, who had a very good poacher goal. That was a spectacular goal that ended up having Croatia 2-1 up in the second period of extra time. It was a very physical game throughout the game. You could see this at the end of the game. There were tempers flaring, and it was very big game for both of these countries, so it makes sense that the teams are very physical and trying to beat each other at this game. Throughout the game, Pickford also had great distribution. His distribution was perfect, and it's not perfect, but it was very good, and it's one of the things that makes Pickford a very interesting goalkeeper to watch. He is a little short, but he's still making great saves, and his distribution is absolutely insane, that it would not be a surprise to me if he went to a bigger club rather than Everton this summer in the transfer window. England was very dangerous on set pieces, as I said, and one thing that I would like to point out in this game that happened is almost a short explainer video right now. There was a forced substitute allowed during the extra time. This is a new rule. Normally, you're only allowed 3 subs per game, including extra time. However, now they've added a new rule that you are allowed a forced substitute in the extra time period, which I think is a great idea because teams get very tired and there are a lot of injuries during extra time. And so I think a forced sub will make games, 1, more exciting, and 2, hinder injuries, which both are very good things to happen. It was the third straight match for Croatia to go into extra time, so it'll be interesting to see if they're tired in the final at all compared to France, who only had to play 90 minutes against teams that they played, like Belgium. And because they only had to play 90 minutes, that is a different thing than 3 straight games that went to extra time and 2 other games that went to penalties. So Croatia could get tired during the finals. It would be interesting to see that. I'll talk about in the preview for the France-Croatia finals. One thing that I thought was very interesting during the game today was the midfield for England. At the beginning of the game, they were very motivated and they were very running back, and the midfield trio of Dele Alli, Jesse Lingard, and Jordan Henderson really helped England get into the position that they were in. Henderson was playing a more deep-lying position that he played all season for Liverpool, and he was doing a great job. And Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard were doing very good to track back, which was making sure that Croatia couldn't get out wide. They would track back and block crosses so that Croatia was trying to force the ball through the middle. However, as the game grew on, especially after Croatia scored their goal, Jesse Lingard and Dele Alli are both 2 young players who got very desperate and frantic, and they were a little fearful of losing, and so they weren't quite playing their positions correctly. They weren't exactly box-to-box midfielders, and they weren't helping Henderson out at all during the end of the game. And so there wasn't any possession for the England squad, and they were allowing Croatia to get out wide, and they were allowing Croatia to put in services in the box because Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard were not there to defend because they weren't helping Henderson out defensively. While they were still making their attacking runs, their defensive side of the game lacked, which I think really hurt England throughout the end of the game and even in extra time. One more thing that I would like to talk about is the fact that VAR really hasn't been used that much in the semifinals. I watched both games, and there was not many times where the ref actually had to stop and wait for VAR to make a decision, which I think is a very good thing, because the really big stick that VAR gets is it takes a long time to make a decision if the ref has to run all the way over to the TV screen and figure out whether the play is right. But I think if VAR can make decisions inside the room that the ref believes are right and the ref can actually trust, I think that VAR will become a very good thing because it can make sure that there are more correct calls. And I like the fact that VAR has taken almost no time to make decisions, and whether they're not actually making those decisions or whether they're making them faster, either way, I think it did not disrupt the flow of the game like I have seen sometimes in MLS games this year. In this game, the Croatia came out 2-1 winners, and it was a very exciting game, and I'm sure the France-Croatia game is going to be exciting as well. I will preview that game, but to recap this game, England did not, while they were a motivated youth side, the experience of Croatia really took over, especially in a player like Mandzukic, who really popped up in the moment that they needed him, while on the other side, England's Harry Kane did not pop up when England needed him most. I also think that the midfield battle in the game today was truly experience versus youth. Someone like Luka Modric in the midfield really helped Croatia build into the game and build possession, while on the other side, England had Jesse Lingard and Dele Alli, who weren't helping Jordan Henderson possess or play defense. All they were really doing was making offensive runs. I think it wasn't necessarily their fault, as they're not natural center midfielders, which I think really hurt England in this tournament and in this end game of the tournament, because they have done very good throughout the tournament by playing defense. But when they got into the point that they were a little frantic and a little scared, and the fact that they were fearful of losing, I think this caused them to not quite play their position correctly, as normally when their teams are losing at club level, they're supposed to be the players that are going to go up and pop up and score goals for their club, which really hurt Jordan Henderson and, in the end, Eric Dyer, because they had absolutely no possession towards the end of the game, which couldn't help them build up. Thank you guys for watching this recap video for Croatia-England. It was a great game, and I can't wait for the finals. And Croatia-France is going to be a great game. England-Croatia was great. It went all the way to extra time, and both teams really fought for it at the end, but the experienced Croatia side ended up beating England. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys next time, and thank you for watching.